blessing, good shape for a miracle, good shape for a deliverance, good shape for a breakthrough, good shape for a healing, good shape for a door to be opened, good shape for a way to be made, a good shape for a transformation take place in your life. Or if you feel like I feel, neighbor's hand is to neighbor, you don't know the good shape that I'm in right now. Everybody talking about what bad shape Jesus is in. When you read it, it said the high priest was talking about it. The friends and neighbors were talking about it. The family was talking about it. The men on the cross were talking about it. And somebody ought to be able to identify, seem like everybody's talking about you and the situation you're in right now. And here, Jesus is so messed up in the worst situation life can place you in. Isaiah says that his bodily form was so disfigured that you really could identify who he was. Chapter 52, about verse 13, it says his vestige was so marred that you really couldn't identify he was really a human being, messed up, so disfigured. Every disease that could affect his body was affecting him. Every alcoholism situation was affecting him. Every drug, homosexual act was affecting him. He's in bad shape. And then the reason that some cannot have an effect from Jesus Christ is because, as one of the malefactors said, if thou be the Christ, he wasn't sure whether he was Christ or not. You got to be sure. I don't care how bad your situation is. Jesus Christ is the Christ. I'm sure, and I do believe, his virgin birth. I'm sure, and I do believe, his vigorous life. I'm sure, and I do believe, his vicarious death. I'm sure, and I do believe, his victorious resurrection. I'm sure, and I do believe in his vibrant return again. I don't have no doubt in my mind that Jesus is the Christ, Son of the living God. If I'm unemployed, he's still the Christ. If I'm unemployed, he's still the Christ. If I'm up, he's still the Christ. If I'm down, he's still the Christ. If I live, he's still the Christ. If I die, he's still the Christ. If I'm married, he's still the Christ. If I'm separated, he's still the Christ. If I'm divorced, He's still the Christ. Somebody ought to give God glory no matter what my situation. He is the Christ. But this male factor said, if thou be the Christ, save yourself and do something for us. Then the other man in the same situation, both of them had opportunity, but only one took advantage of the opportunity. Somebody sitting in here now got an opportunity for your situation to turn around. But the question is, will you take advantage of the moment? Turn your situation around. Notice the faith of this man. What you talking about, Reverend? His faith. He's looking at Jesus in the worst situation that he could be in. But yet, he got faith in Jesus. When we saw Jesus, it wasn't at his worst. But this man looked at the worst of Jesus. And he rebuked the other man. He said, look, there's a reason we are on this cross. We stole, we lied, we murdered. There's a reason for our situation. But this man, there's no reason at all for his situation. He's not looking at people, Jesus. He's looking at a bloody, abused, misused, and a disfigured Jesus. What an effect Jesus had on this man when he was at his worst. And that's what I want to ask somebody. How do folks see you when you're at your worst? The makeup has come off. The suit is gone. Can't go to the barber shop every week. Ain't been to the beauty shop in months. Ain't got no Chanel number 5 on. 6 or 7. Victoria done told all your secrets. Everybody know your business. You ain't got no more alligators. The glamour is gone. How do folks view you when you're at your worst? Can you still minister to somebody while you're going through the worst time of your life? This ain't happening to nobody else. It's at your door. Can you still tell somebody to have hope in Christ when all the hope you know is gone? Notice the man said, fear God. The man said, I respect God. And it's something about Jesus in the worst of time that this man desired. He wanted. And he said, I must have. He was so moved that he stood up for Jesus. When Jesus was going through his worst. Notice it say, he said unto Jesus, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. First of all, the man realized that this situation Jesus was in is only temporary. He realized this is not a permanent state. Somebody ought to give God glory what you're going through. It's temporary. Your tears are just temporary. Your pain is just temporary. Your sorrow, just temporary. Your broke days are just temporary. Somebody ought to give God glory. You ought to start acting like what I'm going